Okay, so this is super, super interesting. After the results from Tuesday's from Tuesday's primary elections, Super Tuesday primary elections, which saw Hillary Clinton win 7 out of 11 Democratic primaries and Donald Trump win 7 out of 12, I believe, if I recall correctly. It was Trump 7, Cruz 4, and Rubio 1, or was it Cruz 3? In any case, roughly, the searches online for how to move to Canada have exploded. We checked out Google search trends today, Lewis, and we'll actually put up a graph of the search history for our audience that's watching with us. And as you see, just an explosion happening in March 2016. And this is just a few days into March, and the numbers have already exploded to this degree. And this does happen at different times. We've talked about the whole "I'm moving to Canada" thing under George W. Bush. Of course, Republicans less willing to move to Canada, at least the smart ones, when President Obama was elected, because Canada, in many ways, even more progressive than the United States. Will people really do it, though? I mean, let's put aside the reality for a second that it's pretty tough to move to Canada. People rarely actually follow through with this, and I understand the desire to just figure out, could I do it? But I don't think many people will.
And it's just not a matter of you just wanting to do it, right?
Right.
There's a process, and there's a good chance that Canada just will not accept you, especially if there's a huge, well, I don't know how many, if we're talking thousands of people here, tens of thousands. I mean, who is actually going to try?
Okay.
Probably not many people.
That's the thing. There was an article yesterday about this in the Washington Post, and it said, quote, every 4 years, thousands of Americans threaten to leave the United States if the, quote, wrong candidate becomes president. For many voters this year, that candidate is Donald Trump. Why do so many disgruntled voters threaten to leave the country only to see so few actually follow through? Because people overestimate how much pain they'll feel when they experience a dreaded outcome. This is sort of the idea that the anxiety leading up to something is worse than the reality of what that something will be. And it's true that as we think now of going through the next 9 months, imagine going through all of this. And then on November, I think it's November 4th this year, although it might be the 2nd, don't remember offhand. In early November, on that election day, the idea of turning on and seeing Wolf Blitzer say, Donald Trump is the next president of the United States, all of that compressed into right now probably feels worse than what it'll be like, because the next day, most people will still have jobs. Most people will still continue to have similar lives to what they had prior to that. Not that we're cheerleading the idea of a Trump presidency, but I think from a psychological perspective, that is a lot of what goes on. It's sort of the precipitory anxiety versus the actuality of being in a situation.
Yeah. I mean, you could do it as a form of protest, I suppose, if you wanted to send a powerful message to those around you.
Yeah.
But realistically, are you going to wake up the next day and be in some dystopic state where it looks like a bomb just hit and everyone is scrambling to try and fix their lives and survive? Probably not.
What would it take for you to consider moving to another country in terms of someone being elected in the United States?
I don't think there's anyone. I don't think a president-elect would ever cause me to flee
Really?
the country.
Really?
No, well, I mean, think you uproot your whole life because someone gets elected. I mean, a president only has so much power.
Kim Kardashian becomes the president. You stay here.
I would stay. Yeah.
All right. Speaker of the House? What if someone gets elected Speaker of the House that you really don't like?
Well, president is much more important than Speaker of the House. So I think there have been plenty of Speakers of the House that I haven't liked.
Yeah.
I stayed around.
I open it to the audience. I mean, seriously, I know people say I'll move to Canada. I've already gotten emails from people. But what would it really take for you to say, I'm going to uproot my life from the only country I've ever known and seek residency in a different country? I don't want to. I certainly would not like a Trump presidency, but I'm not moving to Canada or even trying to, regardless of whether I even could, which is the real question. I'm staying here, so I'm curious to hear from the audience. What would it actually take? Tell me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at @dpakman. Lewis is on Twitter at @LewisMotomedy. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses, and I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses. You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS. I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me.
and I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try-on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked, put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.